You are here present in physical reality. Thus, you need to work with that physical level of experience in order to come to understand that physical reality is your own ultimate experience and is the only means through which you can experience transcendence. That's what you see. Transcendence, whether it is spiritual transcendence or emotional transcendence, is a path of healing.
Okay, well, I actually had a message from someone asking about anxiety. So I thought this is maybe an interesting topic. What is your advice for people who have anxiety?
Anxiety is excitement that is distorted through fear based definitions. So when you are anxious about something, it really just means that you have a level of excitement for it, or oftentimes it is counter to your excitement. So your excitement is to direct your energy away from it. Nonetheless, there is an energetic charge there that is distorted through fear. So anxiety is a fear-based belief system that is held at the level of the mind and body that gets your attention so that you can recognize how you are either distorting something that is exciting for you into being something to fear because of your beliefs that you must have that very specific outcome, or beliefs that say you will absolutely fail and you fear that outcome. There's many different beliefs that arise with anxiety. And in order to release them, you have to face them head on. Oftentimes, you have to challenge yourself to do those things that you might fear despite the anxiety. Sometimes you have to talk about those feelings and explore them and get to know why they are there. Sometimes you have to confront them at an inner level of feeling the energy in your body and allow yourself to witness it and transform it with your consciousness through practices like meditation, energy healing, body work, yoga, etc.
Hmm. So what's the first step? Someone's in anxiety, they're getting conflicting advice around them and conflicting ideas in their mind. What's their first step?
The first step is to acknowledge the feeling of anxiety and accept that the feeling is present. Feelings like anxiety escalate into what you consider a panic attack because the feeling itself is made wrong. You might deny that this feeling is allowed inside of your body. So, first, you have to acknowledge the feeling and accept the feeling and investigate it, get connected with it. And as you do, become curious about it so that you can come to understand why it's there. Accept the feeling and then understand why it's there. Understand what belief system is causing you to feel that way. And then you have to get connected with what that belief system is and where that belief system originates. The belief system most likely came from a past experience that was either some sort of trauma or some sort of indoctrination that changed the way that you think about yourself and about your relationship to the outer world. And so when you can accept the feeling, acknowledge it, question it, come to understand it, you will then be directed towards its origin. And then in seeing this energy as being related to something that is not in the present moment, that is not necessarily connected with your present experience, but is just a flashback to something from the past that is playing again in the theater of your mind body, you can then challenge yourself to become more present, become more connected with this moment, and recognize that the past does not define the present, and the past does not define you. So then you come to transcend the anxiety by accepting it, by letting everything that's connected with it be there, acknowledge it in full, while understanding that it's just a relic of the past and it's unnecessary to keep with you in your future. Then it can transform and release through your experience in a variety of ways. Sometimes this will lead you to crying the experience out. Sometimes you might sweat it out, shake it out. Sometimes it simply passes as your breathing deepens and you enter into a different state of consciousness. That anxiety is no longer present.
Okay, that's great. Great advice. Great advice. Now, what about someone who's already had diagnosis and maybe they're on medication like antidepressants or something like that? Um, does that complicate their recovery?
No, it doesn't.
So the antidepressants are dangerous, or they're just fine and carry on and move out of the anxiety?
The process is the same whether or not you're on antidepressant. The process involves confronting the anxiety, understanding it, acknowledging it, accepting it, dissecting it. You will have to do that whatever you decide to consume to allow yourself to feel better. Antidepressants, for some people, make this process easier. For some people, it makes the process worse. Generally, we would say it makes it slightly more challenging because the antidepressants have a way of numbing you to many levels of feeling, and healing is feeling. So you have to be willing to feel those more negative emotions, confront them, and process them in order to really transcend and release them. And if you're constantly doing something that numbs you to these feelings, you're in a way preventing yourself from doing the inner work of processing them. But there are certain occasions that is what is helpful for someone to do if they are in a life situation that is extremely traumatic and they cannot function and do what they need to do to survive without some numbing agent, whether it is an antidepressant or another numbing agent. That ought to be something that is used for a period of time as a sort of bridge to cross over the river and get to the other side. But it is to be seen only as a bridge. You cannot use it forever and actually get better.
Okay, that's fine. I imagine it's the same if someone has an addiction or something that they're using as a crutch that's not medically prescribed.
Yes. There's many different things that people do use as antidepressants that aren't necessarily the traditional or conventional, rather, antidepressants. It's the
Fair
same.
enough. And have you any final comments on this topic?
In order to release anxiety, there's a variety of practices we would suggest. And one would be meditation. There's so many different types of meditation. So do whatever meditation is drawn to you or that you are drawn to. The core that makes meditation helpful is the connection with the body. You are here present in physical reality. Thus, you need to work with that physical level of experience in order to come to understand that physical reality is your own ultimate experience and is the only means through which you can experience transcendence. That's what you see. Transcendence, whether it is spiritual transcendence or emotional transcendence, is a path of healing. And this is the gift that meditation offers you. But you cannot transcend as a bypass. You transcend by embracing something so entirely that you become absorbed in it. You become completely satiated through it, and therefore you go beyond it. You encompass it entirely. And so this process of meditation allows you to connect deeply with your inner being in your body through awareness of sensations in the body, through a focus on the breath, through a very particular focus of your mind in a certain way. All this works to help you develop that ability to stay concentrated. And why this is so important is because you will only make changes in your life through your actions. And you cannot make those changes if you are not most powerfully concentrated to act in ways that are filling you with love, despite the fear, despite the anxiety that you may be feeling. And that is then the other practice. You have to have the energy of courage, which is, again, not a sense of fearlessness, but the ability to choose to do what you know to be right for you in your heart, because it has that high frequency energy that fills you with a sense of enthusiasm, passion, excitement, and joy. When it fills you with that energy, you know it's right for you. Yet still, even though you have that knowing in your heart, anxiety may manifest because there are still belief systems that tell you it is not possible, that tell you it is very difficult and will end up hurting you or doing something that you don't want. Therefore, you have to have this courage and you have to have that concentration to move forward and do what your heart calls you to, regardless of how your anxiety and the beliefs that cause it create the illusion that you can't do it or that you are held back from doing it. So that's what we would suggest most, yes.
Okay, well, thanks very much. We're complete on this topic.
All right, yes.
On the spaceship of Babel, we are gliding through the stars on a 5-year mission beyond Jupiter and Mars, a celestial encounter on a future Noah's Ark, and you won't hear us coming, so whisper in the dark. There's an Ewok close behind me as we try to disembark here. Obi-Wan Kenobi as we whisper in the dark. Whisper in the dark.